What's up, Album Book Club? Welcome back to another EP review. Today, we are reviewing Made in Mars Side A by Adeel. He reached out to us on Instagram asking us to take a look at this, so that's what we're going to do. Ready to get started?
Yep.
Let's do it. That first track was Made in Mars. What are you giving that?
I think I'll give it a 6.5.
That sounds about right. I'll do 6.25. I'll go a little lower.
There is nothing about it I absolutely hate. It's just things I pointed out to you like while we were listening to is everything is there and it's all the right volumes, but it's just something's just, it all feels kind of separated for some reason. I can't put my finger on what it needs.
I think it needs mastering, would be my guess, and I'm assuming since this is a smaller artist that wasn't really in the cards, and that's how it is sometimes. I've listened to this a couple times since we got the suggestion, and various other methods, like in my car, AirPods. This is the best I've heard this song sound. I was worried about the review of this song until we got here, actually.
Phone speaker was not doing it justice.
Absolutely not.
I will say, aside from what sounded like shitting on the song, the guitar work on this song was very impressive. Yeah. It got a little out there, and some effects were a little much for me, but also, I'm not the one playing the guitar, so it doesn't matter. If you like the guitar sounding like that, cool. I liked the technique. I liked the playing. I thought it was all really good, and that's all you can ask for.
I was going to say, guitar tone, I've heard all of this now. I like it throughout this entire thing. The guitars are killing it on this. The drums were a little bit intense, I will say. For how laid back kind of this song is, I think the drums were hitting a little too hard, but that's a design choice. That's just not one I would have made.
I think the title of Made in Mars going to that, with what vaguely little bits I've heard, I'm kind of excited for that to be the title track, and then they're just kind of like, yep, here's what's left.
So
usually
also,
it's experimental after that.
The other thing that I do know about this is part one to a full album broken up into two EPs. So this is the title track, I think, to two different EPs. All right, we ready to move on to track two?
Yeah.
All right, that was All the Love Songs I Know, part two. I spelled wrong.
I spelled wrong. It's like a 7.
I agree, 7.
It would have been higher, but the ending pissed me off.
Nope, I actually like the ending.
Really? You like the abrupt?
I do, yeah. Whatever sound effect that was, I really liked it.
I think just with the vibe of the song, I was totally expecting the like heartbeat kind of like chord at the end.
You heard the song that happened before this.
That is true.
That is very
true.
weird.
I forgot what I was listening to. It was nothing was bad. Things were just cool to listen to. I was listening to the bass guitar, and the low end was real thumpy, and the high end was a little thinner, so that tells me it's probably like a hollow body with, probably tape wound strings on it. There's your super nerdy into it thing. Tell me if I'm right, Adeel. I'd be really excited to find out that I'm wrong. It's very laid back, very chill. I think now going into just having heard that little second of the next song, it fits so perfectly with that, so the transition, while abrupt, was fitting, the vibe switch. I know we don't really rate that on this side of things, but it worked out in its favor here. This is a good song.
I don't have too much to report about this song. It was nice. I'll definitely throw that on like a driving playlist probably. Are we ready to move on?
Yep. This is elevator music in the best way possible.
Absolutely.
I think we're just steadily going up. That was even more enjoyable.
All right. That was Dear Friendly Moon.
It's like a 7.5.
I'm going to go 7.75.
Wow.
Go a little higher. There is a lot going on in this song, I will say.
There is a lot going on. I like it. It's overstimulating in the best way possible, man. It's like you kind of want to close your eyes and listen for everything, because everything's cool and fun and different, and it's kind of like listening to an orchestra. The orchestration of it's great. You can just pick out all the different parts and hear them, and that trumpet at the end is so beautiful.
I do wonder if that was a choice from the beginning or a lack of trumpet when went to execute it.
Whatever it is, I think it's both hilarious and fun.
The bass was hitting on this song. I really love the 8-bit keyboard that's just accent parts throughout of it. It's like the old video game sound. You mentioned the oboe. Probably could have been turned down a little bit.
Really? I thought it was snuck in. I could barely hear it.
It was kind of cutting through everything. And if you're visualizing the track, it's like the vocals here, the bass here, and then a huge thick line in the middle of everything is this oboe.
That's fair. I think I was grooving with the bass line, and then the oboe snuck up on me. But other than that, it's just the intro with the pseudo fake digital weird water sounds.
Yeah.
Kind of like Lego water. It was fun. Enjoyed it.
Ready to move on?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Track 4. Track number 4, Electric Lady Shock.
It's like a 7.
I'm going to give it a 7.5. I'm going to ask my question that may or may not be able to remain in the video. Was that bit crusher or was that a bad interface on the solo?
Neither. It sounded like a fuzz and then grabbing multiple strings and then bending one maybe a little more so you get that kind of out of tuneness and that growl there through a fuzz, which is a broken distortion sound. It's pushing it through probably a pretty good, decent enough interface, but not the world's cleanest interface that costs $50,000. So it's just a factor of different things. I don't think it was a bit crusher though. I think that was I think that was just hearing a lot of the actual sound of the distortion through the pickup itself. Or it could have also been the mic used too, not necessarily the interface. I don't think the interface, because the guitar in other parts just sounded completely fine. Other than that, it wasn't a bad track. It's not my favorite track. There are definitely things that when it came to the solo, I was a little surprised at, because after hearing just the rest of the guitar playing on all of the other tracks, there were just some times where I was like, oh, you could have added a third note there, and you've done it in other places, and it would have maybe fit a little better. But also, the feel of the solo is really good. It's just, I'm a shredder, not a feel guy. This was definitely a feel solo. That was pretty good.
The energy this song brought, and I really like the guitar tones throughout, just not as much on the solo part. I feel like it didn't mesh with everything else as much. It felt like you found a really cool guitar tone to use on the solo, but it didn't really fit the rest of the song, but you wanted to use it so bad that you did anyway. And I mean, that's fine.
I do that all the time. Go to my little country gigs and press my Eddie Van Halen button and go to town. Good times. Ready to move on?
Last track.
I think this song is making me depressed. He's got 90s R&B down, though.
Yeah. That track was called In the Mood for Love, but fur spelled wild.
It's like an 8.
I'm going to give it a 7.
I think that is a very 90s inspired R&B track. It's very fun. It's very laid back. I did say it made me depressed, but I mean that in a good way. It got me in my feels, and that doesn't happen very often. So
I don't think I have too much to say about this song. I liked most, if not all, of the sounds brought on it. It had a good feel. Like you said, 90s R&B style song.
Here is my one complaint, though. I will say the vocals were very in line with everything else as far as volume, and I would give them 2% bump, just a little bit more oomph to them, because they were good. I kind of just want to hear them more. So the only complaint is to give me more of your singing. How often do you get that one?
All right, you ready for album art?
Yeah.
There it is.
6.5.
I give it a 6. So here's my biggest issue with this album art, because I went to his account today and found, so he had a post for this EP with several other variants of this album art. And I think I like all of the other ones better.
That's fair. I don't know. I think it just confuses the shit out of me, man. Because it's very wild. And this is, while yes, a wild EP and presumably album, I think this is almost wild in the wrong direction. Whereas the EP gives me, or the album art gives me one of two vibes, which is like Flash Gordon-esque, like grandiose style music, or like city pop. And this is kind of in the center of both of them, of those two. So
I think in my head, this matches up best with the first and the last track.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think it is even close to matching the three in the middle. And I get that I get the face as an album art thing. I don't think it's my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
And when any time there's a face as the whole album art, that's probably just a me thing. But it's fine.
Yeah. As far as the art itself, it looks very, very high quality.
Yeah, it was a 3D artist credited with it. I'll put their @on the screen.
Heck yeah.
If you made it this far, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you, Adeel, for sending us your EP. If anybody else wants us to listen to their EP, send it over. We will respond on pretty much every platform. If you gotta leaving a comment, DM us, let us know.
Bye.
That's it. That's the end.
Bye.